Have you ever wondered why, as an adult, we receive the exact same dosing amount of Spinraza as an infant or toddler? Well, stay tuned, because I'm going to explain some exciting news from Biogen Pharmaceuticals that just may change all of that. Hey everybody, welcome to the SMA Journey 51 vlog. Alright guys, in this week's video, I've got some exciting news about Biogen Pharmaceuticals. You know, in the opening, I asked you, have you ever wondered why we as adults receive the same dosing amount of Spinraza as an infant or a toddler? I mean, let's face it, our bodies are bigger. You would think that we would require more of the treatment than those that are infants or toddlers. And it's a question that I've always had, and I'm sure you've had this question as well. Well, the exciting news is that Biogen Pharmaceuticals and Cure SMA are going to team up in about a week, and they're going to be doing a webinar where they're going to share information about Biogen's new clinical trial that's upcoming in February called DEVOTE. DEVOTE will look at increasing the amount of Spinraza that we as adults receive along with infants and toddlers. So this is exciting news because I think by increasing the amounts, we may see better benefits. Now, the one thing that I'm going to ask you, watch the video and don't worry about writing all of this information down. I'm going to be sharing some web addresses and some email addresses for you so that you can register for the webinar. But all of this information will be in the description section of my video. So just go down to the description and I think you'll see all the information that you need. I urge you to please register for this webinar because it's going to be some great information for you and your families. And it's information that you can share with your doctors as well. Because look, my goal is to give you the information that you need to make an educated decision, and hopefully I'm doing that. So please, watch the PowerPoint presentation, and afterwards I'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Thank you. What is DEVOTE? DEVOTE is a clinical trial that Biogen Pharmaceuticals will be conducting. The primary objective of the study will be to examine the clinical efficacy of nusinersen administered intrathecally at higher doses to participants with spinal muscular atrophy. The secondary objectives of the study are to examine the effects of nusinersen administered at higher doses compared to the currently approved dose in participants with SMA, and to examine the pharmacokinetics, or PK, of nusinersen in the cerebral spinal fluid and plasma after intrathecal administration of nusinersen is given at higher doses to participants with SMA. The study type will be interventional, which means that it will be a clinical trial. Estimated enrollment will be 125 participants. Estimated study start date will be February 26th of this year, 2020. Estimated primary completion date will be June 13th of 2022, and the estimated study completion date will be December 18th of 2022. Now the difference between the primary completion date and the study completion date is that they're hoping to have all of these clinical trials finished by June 13th of 2022, and then all of the data wrapped up and ready to be presented by December 18th of 2022. Ages eligible for the study will be child, adult, and older adult, and the sexes eligible for the study will be both male and female. Right now, they will not be accepting healthy volunteers. They want to focus this entire study on those individuals that they know have SMA. Why is DEVOTE taking place? On Tuesday, February 4th, Biogen and Cure SMA will co-host a webinar for the SMA community. During the seminar, you'll hear from Biogen about the latest information on its Spinraza clinical trial known as DEVOTE, which is going to be a phase 2/3 randomized controlled dose escalating study with infantile and later onset SMA of all ages, including adults. The 60-minute webinar will also include a Q&A session based on questions that can be submitted in advance of the call during the registration process. Now, as a side note, during the registration process, they only give you a space of 255 characters for your questions. If you have more than one question, you can email them to CureSMA at webinar@curesma.org. Now, there's no need to write all of this information down because I'm going to be including a lot of information in the description section of my video, and this email address will also be included. Why is DEVOTE taking place? Now, before I answer that question, Remember that whether you're an adult or a child, all of us that are on our Spinraza treatments, we all receive 12 milligrams. So that's the current amount that all of us are receiving. The study will be divided into 3 stages, 2 of which, stages A and C, will be open label, no control group, while the second part, known as Part B, will be a double-blind and randomized with the control and placebo group. In Part A, patients ages 2 to 15 with latter onset SMA, which is symptoms after 180 days of age, most likely to have types 2 or 3, will receive a 28 milligram loading dose on days 1, 15, and 29, followed by similar maintenance doses 4 and 8 months later. In Part B, patients with infantile onset, most likely type 1, or latter onset SMA, ages 2 to 10, will be treated with a 50 milligram loading dose 15 days apart, followed by maintenance doses of 28 milligrams after 4 and 8 months. This will be compared to the approved 12 milligram dose in 4 loading doses and maintenance doses every 4 months. Alternate sham or placebo procedures will be used at certain dosing time points. In Part C, adults on Spinraza over at least 1 year prior to the study will receive a single 50 milligram dose 4 months after their most recent treatment, followed by 28 milligram maintenance doses 4 and 8 months later. This group will help assess how to transition patients that are already on Spinraza to higher doses, according to the company. Now, this is going to be very important information, and the information will be included in the description section of my video. The date of the webinar will be Tuesday, February 4th. The time of the webinar will be 9 a.m. PST, which is those of you that live on the West Coast, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central Standard, and 12 p.m. for those of you that live on the East Coast. I list the webinar registration URL, and you can either copy this down or you can wait until the end of the video and you can find it in the description section. Registration deadline will be 1 hour before the start of the webinar. So for those of you that live on the West Coast, as an example, you have until 8 a.m. on Tuesday, February 4th to register. Trial information. If you go to www.clinicaltrials.gov, this is where you're going to be able to track the actual clinical trial itself. And on this website, you can either type in the clinical trial identifier, which is NCT 04089566, or you can type in the clinical trial name, which is DEVOTE. Now, they probably won't be updating this website, but maybe about once every 2 or 3 weeks. But if you want to follow along, this will be the greatest place to go to. And again, all of this information is in the description section of my video. Okay, so that wraps up this PowerPoint presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation, and I hope you got some information out of it that you could use as well. You know, by increasing the amounts of Spinraza that we receive, we may see some bigger benefits, and hopefully this will be a dream for all of us that may come to fruition. It may take it a couple of years to achieve this goal, but you know what? We've waited this long, so a couple of years may not be as long as what you think. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember, when you do subscribe to the channel, make sure that you click on the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of any new videos that I produce. I hope all of you have had a fantastic week. Do me a favor this upcoming week, do something for yourself that's going to make you a better person. God bless you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.